was the crime of the century, a horrifying and gruesome double murder that, after more than 100 years, is still unsolved.
Mr. Borden and his wife were brutally hatcheted to death early in the morning.
These two victims were butchered.
Join us at the house where it all happened. One of the most haunted locations in the world.
There's a residual energy that's here.
Footsteps, people talking, doors slamming.
A lot of people see the toys being moved around.
There's a man there, and I don't know who he is.
It is about the right size for most of the wounds on the Borden skulls.
Our experts will break down the murders and the trial. They'll discuss alternate theories and potentially overlooked suspects.
Uncle John's alibi doesn't hold water.
Join host Susan Slaughter and your favorite paranormal researchers as they search for answers to the crime and the haunting. Will the ghost of the house offer any clues? Will Lizzie herself make contact? Find out as the Dark Zone brings you the Lizzie Borden Murder House.
Hello, Dark Zoners, and welcome to the Dark Zone Live presents Lizzie Borden Murder House. All right, so we got our next guest coming up. This is a guy that everybody knows very well. We've got Chris Fleming coming up. Hey, there you are.
Hey.
All right. Hey, Chris, it's nice to meet you. We've never met before. And we've got Susan Slaughter over at the Bed and Breakfast right now. Susan, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, Chris. Nice to meet you.
You too, Susan. It's a pleasure.
You have quite an amazing resume with paranormal shows, going way back. I mean, you were on the original iteration of Psychic Kids, right?
Yeah, I did the second and third season. It was about 5 episodes.
And I think that the story you're going to tell us a little later on, don't get into it now, it relates to that. But you have a show on now in the UK called, I believe it's called Help My House is Haunted. You do a lot, but you do a lot of like paranormal investigations, and you're, if I'm saying this right, a psychic medium, right? Are you both,
right.
Or you just you prefer one or the other?
Well, simply put is, growing up as a kid, having dreams that come true, going back to 3 years old, seeing ghosts 4 or 5 years old, realizing your house is haunted, then communicating with them, you begin to realize, wow, I'm just not, as you get older, I'm just not an investigator, but I'm also a medium because I'm hearing them, they're coming to me, I'm seeing them, and they respond when I communicate with them. So that's what a medium is. But also I would feel their emotions, also feel how they died. They would take me through those steps to where I would feel physically. And my mom used to think, what is wrong with you? And it was just me reacting to some of these spirits.
For years, I've been doing paranormal shows, and a lot of the teams try to stay, at least they used to. It's different now, but they used to want to stay away from psychic medium types because they felt like there was really no way to verify that. Now, I know Susan disagrees with that. And Susan, I'd love you to share your philosophy on that, because I think you guys probably have the same philosophy.
Yes, and the first time I met you, Jay, I broke down into tears at Fort Mifflin during an investigation because I had a really severe reaction to an energy coming into me. And I had this experience, and it never happened to me before that times, and it was really very exploitative for me and really jarring because it was on camera. It was my first time ever investigating on camera for a television show. And I felt the sensation of what it was like to be sexually assaulted or abused. And I felt it all, like the whole encompassing sensations of it, physically, emotionally, the aftermath, the hatred, the fear, and all of that stuff. I've never been sexually assaulted in my life, but then all of a sudden I had that experience like with a camera in my face, and it was really, really uncomfortable. Anyways, doing that, I feel like I learned to accept the sensations that come to me as an empath. And I started using them to my advantage during investigations. You know, I don't necessarily use the things that come to me psychically as proof of anything. You know, they're just kind of a tool that I use to help to communicate or to, you know, use my intuition to set up equipment certain places, or, you know, because I feel like that's where we're going to get better results, or to ask the right questions in the right way, how to like go about an investigation with tact. And I use my psychic impressions to be a tactful investigator to help lead my equipment. I think that people can be psychic and also be objective.
I think the key thing, if I can chime in for a second with what she said, the one thing that I've always been really important to me is the data, collecting the data. And I understand sometimes you get these premonitions, you get these sensations of the spirits you're talking to. It's like, how do people know? What I learned when I was doing Dead Famous, it was important to me that the crew accepted me for my abilities, but understood what I was doing. So when I would record talking to a spirit, I said, it's a male spirit, he's telling me something, we play it back on the audio, and there's his voice. It would freak out the crew. And this was something that I realized, you know what, I have to support everything I say with some form of evidence, whether it's electromagnetic field being altered or detected, as well as ITC. You know, using the spirit box and EVP, and anybody I've worked with is like, holy cow, you're really talking to them because they're responding. And that is what's important to me, is to have that evidence, not only for ourselves as a team, but then also for the people that live there so they know they're not crazy, that there is something going on. Plus the spirit to let it know, hey, we're listening to you, I'm building rapport, how can we help you?
I wanted to bring up, because you have a really interesting story on how you started getting your abilities, right? You had an incident that happened to you, and your abilities start to flourish after that.
Correct. Well, when I was 1.5 years old, we lived in Long Island. My dad played for the New York Rangers, and I told my mom the story. She goes, "That's impossible. You're only 1.5 years old." But I described the apartment we were in and where I ended up. And real quickly, is I remember I was in my crib, and I saw this light, this vertical light, and there's voices. And next thing you know, I'm walking down the hallway, you know, stumbling. I see the TV's on, the babysitter's sleeping. I see the doors open. So I go towards the door. Then I don't have any other memory except for the night sky. And then I see the beach. There's like the beach right there. And I'm just sitting there in my diapers. And all of a sudden I hear a dog bark. And I turn around. This man comes up to me with the dog and says, like, I can't remember the conversation. But next thing you know, he carries me, brings me back. And my mom shows up with my dad. And they're like, how the hell did he get out of the house, go 2 blocks, and end up on this beach? I just remember these voices. And I came in contact with these same voices later on in life when I got lost in the neighborhood we lived in when I was 5 years old. They appeared, and I went towards, the next thing you know, I was on the other side of the area, right where my home was. So that was the earliest stages. And then the dreams that came true, and then Chip, there was a ghost named Chip that my mom said I had an imaginary friend, and it was an imaginary friend, because I remember seeing him, and I remember the day he said goodbye. So, and plus he's come up on EVP and ITC over the last 10 to 20 years. So for me, it's a combination of those things to where I was kind of born into it. You know?
Do you believe that your guides are former human being entities or non-human entities?
Very good point. What I have learned from my contact with them is that they're enlightened beings. They're on this hierarchy to where you go up to the archangels and certain angels. There's this hierarchy. They have had incarnations, so to speak, in different places and on this planet a long time ago. Because they've had some of those physical experiences, they evolved very quickly. And they're at this level to where they're like teachers, guides for us. And we've known them through many lifetimes, here and in other places that we experience. So when we are with them, it's complete unconditional love. It's complete truth. There's no questioning them. And then we know that every single thing they do and think of is for our best interest to also evolve back to the absolute. So for me, it's like, you know, I wouldn't be doing and knowing some of the stuff I know if it wasn't for them, because sometimes they tell me stuff. So I know they're always looking out for our best interest, but we have that free will that gets in the way.
Tell me what happened to you when you were here at the Lizzie Borden house.
Yeah, I was there back in 2010. It's like August 14th, and we were shooting an episode of Psychic Kids. And what I want people to understand is they had asked me, do you want to know where we're going? I said, you know what, to work with these kids and to tap in them, I do not want to know where we're going. So we were like blindfolded on the way there. And then when we got there, they took it off and they escorted us in. I guess all signs and any little things that told us what was there was taken away. So we go into the house, and then we're told just to go through the house wherever it guides us. So the kids are getting guided into certain ways. We go up to the second floor. And as we get up to the second floor, we're like, okay, spirits, make your presence known, whatever. All of a sudden, we smelled this like rotten flesh. And it was horrific. And I gagged. I started gagging because, my reflux is really bad. And the kids were the same way. They're like, oh, my God, what is that? I'm like, holy cow. And we know in the paranormal field, we'll get those scents, cigar smoke, perfume, and sometimes the smell of a dead body or decay. So I knew, okay, we're onto something. This is residual. So I asked, I said, hey, listen, what did you go through? How did you die so we know what this place is about? All of a sudden, I started getting this dramatic chest pain. And as I got this chest pain, I said, okay, I've never had this feeling before. I look at the cameraman, I look at the kids, and I got tears streaking down my eyes because the pain was excruciating. I realized, oh, my God, I'm having a heart attack. So I raced over to the bathroom, and I stumbled, and I went down, grabbing my chest, and I go, call emergency. I'm having a heart attack. And the guy's just sitting there filming me. And I said, get the camera off, turn it off. I go, I'm having a heart attack. And then all of a sudden, I felt this like something go past me, like a male spirit, right? Just, and then all of a sudden I started feeling better. And I said, oh my God, I was affecting as an empath. I didn't have my guard up. I was down. I raced out of there to remove myself. And I know when you remove yourself from the property, it will detach. So I want to regain control, protect myself, go back in. While I'm outside, Edie Nason comes out, the counselor on the show. She's like, what's wrong? And I got tears going still. I said, oh my God. And I started telling her, I said, these people, this guy had something happened to his chest. So I think he was stabbed or he was hit with like a big object, whether it's an axe, a hatchet, in his chest. And she's looking at me going, close, but no. I said, no, I'm serious, because his chest was killing him. It was excruciating. About an hour or so later, we eventually are brought into the room. We sit down with one of the people that knows everything about the place. They tell where we're at. I'm like, wow, okay, so we're here. They got hit in the head, not in the chest. That doesn't make sense. I go back home after a couple of days. I said, I got to figure this out. Doesn't make sense because I know my ability. If I feel something, there's something being missed. So I started researching, and this is what I found out, is that when you have heavy head trauma, blunt to the head, okay, it'll affect the blood flow from the heart to the brain. Well, when you destroy the brain, as what happened to Andrew Borden, okay, the heart's still going to pump blood because it's unaffected. But what happens is when the blood's not being received to the brain and being dispersed to the rest of the body, the heart goes into cardiac arrest, a heart attack, and then it explodes. So what I was feeling was what the pain he truly felt. So I was able to connect it. It was never used in the show, but it was something I'm like, holy cow, because nobody had known that. So that was one way I connected. Now let's go back to being there. I go back in the house. I go, Andrew, I understand the pain you went through. I want to investigate on my own, but with the show, it's got to work with the kids. So while we're there with the kids, we came in contact with these girl spirits, children that were there. And the children, interesting to what you say, had been abused. And the two kids were picking this up. Now, it never made it on the show, but they were talking about these little girls that had been abused and what was going on with them. When we were done filming, everybody was packing up, and I had my own car, that they left there for me to go to the restaurant, because they said, you just go back to the hotel or you can meet us at the restaurant. I said, okay. They gave me the keys. I said, I want to go back upstairs and I want to continue to investigate. So I brought my camera because I wanted to find out the number one question. Did Lizzie do this? And what was happening to me? Going up there, I realized Andrew Borden was showing me what happened to him. And then when I asked questions, I got a response that I heard, a direct voice phenomenon that I heard with my own ears that I captured on the camera. Then I asked, did you do it? And there was a response that was an EVP. Now, hearing this, I'm like, oh, my God, I'm communicating with Lizzie Borden. So I raced downstairs, and the one woman that was giving the tour is just standing there, and I race outside, and all the cars are gone. They had packed up. They had just left. I missed them. And I'm like, crap. So when I went to dinner, I told them all this stuff. I was excited. None of it ever made it in the show. But I went back and looked at the video. I went back and listened to all the audio. And what I had pieced together from being there 10 years ago and from doing further analysis on that ITC was an amazing conclusion that I believe, the theory of what happened in that place that does connect with what the kids were picking up and what we were picking up. That There was a man that was involved in this. He is the one that actually killed Abby and killed Andrew, but he conspired with Lizzie Borden. When we were there, I felt the residual energy by the window, this man pacing back and forth, waiting till the coast was clear until he could leave. And I see him doing it. The two kids picked that up as well. Plus we had on the ITC, it said assassin, that an assassin had done this. And when we asked who did this, we got on the PX in phonetic mode, it said neighbor. Neighbor did it. Then on ITC, we also got neighbor, said neighbor did it. Now, I did a spirit box session a couple weeks ago, and it also said neighbor. A male neighbor did this, is the one that came in and killed them, but had worked with Lizzie in doing this. Why? Because Lizzie wanted the property. They wanted whatever real estate was going to be left over, but getting Abby out of the way would give them the chance of doing that, because if Abby survived and Mr. Borden died, then Abby's family, whoever she was connected to, was also going to get a percentage of that. And I guess Lizzie didn't want that. And whoever else she conspired with this neighbor, whether the neighbor was going to get something out of it, I don't know. That's not what I had asked. But for me, my theory from being there, yes, Andrew was pissed. Andrew was mad. And he said the neighbor was involved. When I asked Lizzie, she said she didn't do it. It wasn't me. And I captured that on camera. So for me, it was like, wow.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
10 years. 10 years.
That's what I was going to say. You were talking earlier about being able to back up your impressions with data, right? And actual hard evidence. Well, you sent us the clip of this, and we have it. And we would like to play this little clip for the audience so they can see exactly what you're talking about.
I know how I felt how you died, sir. I'm so sorry. Nobody deserves to go that way. Who did it? Holy shit. Did you just hear that? It wasn't who. You didn't do it? You didn't do it?
That's pretty amazing. I hope everybody got to see that. That is corroboration right there for everything you said. And I think you're telling the story for the first time, because they didn't tell this story on the show, right?
No. So yeah, this never made it in the show at all.
But we're going to want you involved in that one too, and you're going to love it.
While she's there, is while you guys are there,
go for it. Yeah.
Susan,
tell me.
Do this. One thing you're there, is they told me the hatchet is still there. They called it a hatchet, not an axe. Okay. The alleged axe that they say is from the murder is not, okay, because the DNA does not match. And not only that, the spirits there told me that the hatchet is still around. Now, there was 3 things I got from them. They said they moved it around a lot during the investigation. At one point, they threw it in a gully nearby. Well, that doesn't help us, right? But they also said that it was, or still is, on the second floor underneath the bed. There was some type of bedboard or whatever that it's underneath there. But then they also said that, check the casket, that Andrew Borden, that when they had buried him, they had put the hatchet underneath his body so nobody would know, because it would be buried. So if it's not found in one of those bedrooms, then it is most likely in his casket. They said, take the hatchet, do the DNA, then look at the neighbors that lived there. Their DNA will match that hatchet.
We have our next guest ready to go, and he is an astrologer. This is Matt Gleason. How you doing, Matt? Nice to meet you.
Great. Pleasure to be here. Astrology, if you say, oh, can you do my astrology chart? The astrology chart is a map of where the planets were at the exact moment you were born. But we can also analyze the birth charts of these people to see what may have led up to there being such a murder in the first place. Oh,
what is Lizzie's birthday? When was she born?
Lizzie was born on July 19th, 1860, and making her zodiac Cancer. We actually have a good estimate that she was born 9:46 a.m. So she's zodiac Cancer, but we can also look at the other planets. And if you look in the chart that we're seeing here now, over by the number 10, there is the sun is the red circle, and it's in the same spot as Venus, represented by the zodiac sign for Venus is the sign most traditionally associated with women. Women's lib had that logo, the circle with the cross below it. Now, if you look just to the left of those, you'll see a lot of little planetary symbols, including the moon. She had a moon in Leo. Now, this is a very powerful sun-moon combo because the sun rules Leo and the moon rules Cancer. So a Cancer with a moon in Leo has the reciprocity between those two, gives a person a very wide perspective. This is a person who is passionately concerned with their own security, like zodiac Cancer, and yet with the moon in Leo, and we know this about Lizzie, once she inherited that money, very fine tastes. If you go down a little further, between the 12 and the 1 is the zodiac sign Virgo. Virgo is a very planned-oriented sign. And so you have somebody here who can plot and plan, caring about themselves and caring most about their security. So when your father's ailing and your stepmom is going to inherit everything and you would prefer to live the high life, there's a lot of motivation there.
How do these charts kind of express what was happening, in the world or in that area at that time, 128 years ago?
Oh, it's fascinating that in 1892, we had yet to discover the planet Pluto. And yes, I believe Pluto is a planet. But when Pluto was discovered, we were able to look back into previous eras, and we would see that there was a once in every 500 years, Neptune and Pluto were together in the same part of the sky. And the influence on that, on the development of human species, is very, very powerful. Now, when you look at the 1890s, you have Jack the Ripper, Lizzie Borden. You have a new sort of murder. You start to see serial killers come out of this. If you look at Lizzie's chart on the day of the murder, when she was born, the planet Uranus, which had been discovered at that point, was in Gemini when she was born in 1860. In 1892, Pluto and Neptune were conjunct on the point where Uranus was in her birth chart. Uranus is the planet of extreme disruption. It's an interesting planet. The axis of Uranus is actually on its equator, 2 degrees above its equator. It spins, all the planets are going like this. It spins like this, a very disruptive force. So when you have dark and nefarious planets like Neptune and Pluto on the place where Uranus was when you were born, it disrupts the way you start thinking about things. You're very vulnerable to doing some very disruptive stuff. And so I think we would see this in a lot of charts around the time in the 1890s when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these violent serial killers just appeared. Now, we're looking here at the stepmother's chart. If you look over by the number 12, you'll see the moon and Pluto are together. That's somebody who likes to hold on to power. She knew she was getting the inheritance. She may have rubbed it in their faces. But if you could call up Emma Borden's chart, Emma, she was a Pisces. She also had a moon in Pisces. But I want you to note that she's a Scorpio rising. What you find with people who are a double Pisces like this is they're very, very manipulative. So when I looked at this chart, I also noted that the Scorpio rising is a very angry person. Emma Borden became quite intolerant of her mother or her stepmother. And I believe, knowing that her father was ill, and she really started to press upon Lizzie, who is very open to suggestion. Let's just leave it at that. I think, though, that the culpability in this crime, while Lizzie absolutely did it, I believe, I think that the cajoling and the manipulating by Emma for Lizzie to do something about this is at the heart of this crime. A double Pisces, especially one with Scorpio rising, plants the seed into you, plants the seed. Oh, if we could only get rid of her and then him, we could have all the money. I wonder what you could do about that, Lizzie. That's a classic double Pisces way of dealing with things.
Well, that's interesting because there are those who believe that it was a bit of a murder conspiracy situation where that there was more than one person involved, and that the reason why Emma left town was that so she could be clear of suspicion because everybody knew how much she hated her stepmother.
Absolutely, absolutely. You didn't. When I saw that Mars, stepmom's Mars on that Scorpio, I said, this is a person. There's your motive.
The Dark Zone Live is bringing you the Lizzie Borden Murder House. It sounds like the team is ready to start their investigation. I know you guys want to get into it with them and see what's going on. So I am going to send you back to Susan Slaughter, who is at the Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast in Fall River, Massachusetts, with Sam Baltrusis and the rest of the team. And let's see what they've got going on. I'm excited. I will be here watching.
Awesome. We're back here. We are in the infamous parlor room where Mr. Borden died and had his demise right here on, not this couch, but a couch that looked just like it. So we're going to go lights up for this.
Well, we're gonna call for the Borden family spirits first.
Okay.
So to kind of give you an idea, so this area is significant to me because when I first walked in the first time, and this was about, I would say like 7 years ago, I walked in. I came through the front door, which you're not supposed to do, and I came through and I saw what looked like a shadow that darted by right into the dining room, which is where we just did the Estes method. So within like first 5 minutes of my first time in this house, I saw a shadow figure walk by. Super emotional. As I go higher in the house, I will tap into the emotions of the spirits because I'm empathic. So I definitely, when it comes to Abby, I've connected strongly with her, and I've also connected strongly with Bridget Sullivan as well.
Okay.
But we're going to call forward the Borden family. So to kind of give you some idea, we're doing a seance, but because of the fire code, they're not actual candles, but this should suffice. And you want to have 3 candles when you do a seance. You also want a food offering. So what I did is I got candy that's from the era. So we have saltwater taffy, which is a New England staple, and we got the pear. The pear this is of course not a real pear, so they're probably going to be angry when we offer the food to the spirits because it's not real. They're like, what are you trying to do? But yeah, so we're going to connect the spirits the best we can with the 3 people that we have in this room. All right, so are we ready? So I'm going to read this first, and then we're going to call for the spirits. We also have chimes that are up there, so that either the spirits can knock or they can hit the chimes when they're in the room, and that's like a traditional late 1800s spiritualism seance.
Yes.
All right, we ready? Our beloved Borden family, we bring you gifts from life into death. Commune with us, Andrew, Abby, Emma, Lizzie, and Bridget, and move among us. I'm getting a cold breeze. Are you guys getting a cold breeze?
On the bottom half of my legs.
Yeah. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna do the protection again. Ura shokrio, ura shokrio, ura shokrio. All right, we're calling for the spirits. So what you guys do, you're going to basically talk about if we have any spirits in the room, what you're seeing. Lauren, are you seeing anything?
I'm seeing Abby.
What are you feeling with Abby?
She has her hands on my shoulders.
Okay.
It's almost like a protecting.
Yep. What is she saying to you?
It's okay.
Yep. Susan, are you feeling anything?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay if you're not. I'm having a headache, so I'm connecting to Andrew right now. Our beloved Borden family, we bring you gifts from life into death. Commune with us, Abby, Andrew, Emma, Lizzie, and Bridget, and move among us. Knock on the table. Let us know that you're here with us right now. I heard something.
Over here, knocking.
Where was the knocking?
It was towards the fireplace.
I heard knocking over by the fireplace. We have someone. We have someone in the room with us. It's Abby.
Mm-hmm.
Abby, what do you want from? Do you want us to tell your story, sweetie? Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Came from the other direction.
Felt like it came from where Susan is. Susan, did you adjust the chair at all? Or the couch?
No.
Okay. I'm getting tingle in my fingers with Lauren.
Yep.
You're the key.
Mm-hmm. Why are you so tingly?
Why are you so tingly?
Yeah, I feel it too in her hands.
My right arm, my forearm, it's cold.
She's tingling in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
She's letting me know if she's there.
Mm-hmm.
So she's protecting us. Do we want to talk to anybody else? It's very cool, right where your hands are. Oh my God, it's so weird. It's like she's touching our hand. She's touching our hand.
I also have a very, very warm sensation on the right side of my face, on my cheek.
Okay.
Your cheek's very flushed.
Calling my ancestors, so I'm calling, so I'm related to you, Andrew, I'm related to you, Lizzie, I'm related to you, Emma. Bridget, I connected with you for years. What do you want us to know? Let me know, if, Bridget, if you're here in the room with us. There's a beeping noise. It'll come in different shapes, like different noises. There's a beeping noise, which is...
I've never heard that before.
So we're going to close the circle. Don't follow us home. Thank you. So we can let go. Okay. So that's a seance. So we did have some noises, some knocking noises, some other noises like chimes. I felt a hand touch my hand, like literally touch my hand. It was cold. It was actually very soothing, and then this came from you. So it could have been Abby, or it could have been a spirit that's protecting you too. So as we investigate, we're gonna go through the house, and I'm gonna use my dowsing rods. These dowsing rods were charged by a high priestess in Salem. I'm known for my work in Salem, specifically Salem witch trials. As we talked about earlier, I'm related to the Putnam family, and I'm also related to the Borden family. So we are connected through the Earls and the Cornells. Do we have spirits with us right now? Can you cross for us? Yes. So it crosses. Point to who you want to communicate with. Oh. Lauren. You want to talk to Susan? It's like going to Susan.
Maybe he just wants to talk to the women.
All right.
That happens a lot of time on investigations, I feel. Masculine energy could be really intimidating for women, especially women, as you suggest, have been abused sexually by men. There's just a distrust for them. And if the strongest spirits here in the house want to connect with anybody, it's always going to be with the feminine energy.
Right.
Yeah, why don't we go, we'll take the spirit box with us. I don't have an external microphone.
Okay.
I mean, speaker. But I would like to go lights out if that's okay with you.
Yeah, let's go lights out.
Yeah.
As we go upstairs, what I've gotten in my dreams over and over again, this is the stairs leading up to the murder scene. I always get hiding in the closet. I like getting. Was there a closet here? But I'm getting someone hiding in the closet. I'm hearing. She's crazy. She's crazy. So I'm getting. She's crazy. Now, Susan, did you sleep in this room?
I did the very first night.
Did you feel like you were being watched?
absolutely. But I got this real predatory vibe in here.
So I'm getting like literally right here. She's making up the bed, and she looks up, and it's like she knows this person. She knows who attacked her. Is that Abby? So she's making the bed, and she looks up, and she knows who.
I put it further away. Okay, there we go.
All right. So she knows the attacker, and she's like, "What? Like I love you. Why would you do this to me? Why would you do this to me?" And like that's what I'm getting energy wise here. Like I love you. I love you. I don't think she doesn't like being in this room. I mean, this is where she was murdered. So, John Morris in this room. The uncle.
And actually, to be honest, I chose to sleep in this room because the first day that I came here, this was actually the lightest feeling room to me at that time.
Right.
When I went to other places, and this was before I got the tour or anything, but I absolutely could not. When I went upstairs, I was like, there's no way. I don't know what it is about the third floor, but it is just not comfortable for me. So I was like, it's so funny that out of all of the rooms in this house that felt like energetically clearest to me was the murder room.
The first time I walked in, I broke down in tears. And it was like, why would you do this to me? Why would you do this to me? And it wasn't current, it was what happened in 1892. All right, so what I'm getting a crawler up on the wall. Like, so this is what I'm getting. I am getting sexual abuse. The sexual abuse coming up again. The fact that the door is right next to the dad's door. I know that she put up something here to block the door because she didn't want to be violated. Her sister. So this is Emma's room, and then Emma moved over to that room, and so Lizzie was the primary target. She became the target of whatever was happening there. I'm not going to say it's sexual abuse, but something's going on there. But what I'm getting from the crawler, so the crawler is, generally speaking, it's a shadow figure, and it's an energy that may have splintered from Lizzie during abuse. Mm-hmm. It's something that's splintered. It's splintered and it's crawling around. And when I'm getting crazy, she's crazy, that's what they're referring to. That's not my cousin. Mm-hmm. That's something else. It's a monster.
Like she projected a traumatic energy out that's just sticky in these walls right now.
Yeah, and it's crawling. It's a crawler, so it'll crawl. It'll go after women. It'll go after women, and like women. But I think women feel safe and empowered here. But it definitely attacks people.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't really get visited by ghosts.
I just saw something over there. Do we have cameras in there?
Where?
In the hallway.
No, but we have this camera shooting out here.
All right, so it looked like it was going into the room. Okay, and it was white, so it was not a shadow figure. It's something that darted through. This room to me is actually one of the more active rooms. They say that John Morris room is, which was the guest room, but I feel like that this room, this is where we saw the face of Abby peeking from the window in the picture. This is also where, when I've done events here in the past, I have two female friends who stay in this room. This is Andrew's room. So we highly recommend, if you have any change, we're going to make a peace offering. Doesn't require a lot. I'm gonna leave a dime. Sorry, that's all I have right now. Andrew, this is a peace offering for Andrew. I think if you want to make peace with Andrew, this is the room to do it. Mm-hmm. I think that there was did you guys have a conversation with Andrew?
He's not the most forthcoming of all of the energies.
Yeah, he's controlling the women.
Yeah.
And the women want to talk to us, and Andrew is like not controlling. What the key for the communication is to make peace with him so we can talk to the women. That's what we want to do. So maybe you can, he likes you. And he doesn't care about me.
he cares about you. So I think that, you know, if you can kind of like use your connection with him and say like, listen, we're trying to do this thing. We're trying to tell your story. He likes, did you hear something?
I heard something right behind me.
Was it like a growl or was it?
It sounded like the flutter of like dragonfly wings, like kind of.
Maybe flies?
I was thinking moth.
Moth?
Yeah, like a flickery wing sound.
We've seen photos and a really clear image of a woman looking out the window. And the face, if you look at photos of Abby, it looks just like, looks like Abby, the stepmother. So I can see her being here. We've also picked up on Ovulus's here, devil. You know, we picked up evil, you know, like potentially negative entities as well. I'm not feeling that right now, which is good because Susan's protected us. There was a mother and daughter from Jersey. They were staying in this room. We were investigating all night in the basement, and then I heard a growl. It was crazy, but they ended up leaving at 3 in the morning because they heard something that was so terrifying in this room.
Wow.
So as it gets darker, I think it gets a lot more active.
Do you think that the energies here play favorites with people? Like they're just like, I don't want this person in my house, so they intimidate them out?
I think it's significant that it was a mother-daughter. That's interesting. I mean, there was something about the mother-daughter combination that fled at 3 in the morning. Andrew thinks women are less than. And so if Andrew's connecting, I think that the women, so maybe that's what it was. Andrew was not a good person. And he's not a good person in the afterlife. He's actually even more angry in the afterlife too. All right, so we're gonna go in Bridget's room. All right, so this is the room that I slept in the first time that I stayed here. I felt pushed on my shoulder. I made a comment about, I'm like, oh, Bridget kind of looks like a man, and she kind of pushed me, and not in a very playful way. I'm like, oh, she looks kind of manly. She does not like that. To me, this is the most active room in the house. There's something about this room. So when I was in my dream that we talked about earlier, I was pinned down to the bed, and she wanted me to look in that closet. There was a cistern or a well in the closet, and I think it led all the way down to the basement. There was, I think that's where they tossed their refuse, but they may have tossed the hatchet as well down in that. I'm hearing a female voice talking to me right now.
You're getting.
What?
I can hear the change in your voice too.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, because she's talking to me like hardcore. Are you, Bridget? Do you want to talk to us? She doesn't. She's like no. She's like no. Like she's telling me like no. Like don't tell them about that. I was held down in your bed, Bridget. I'm getting major ringing, and you were showing me something. So the holding down in the bed could have been being attacked, saying that she was attacked. It also could have been that she was showing me like her role in what was happening. All right, so I'm going to go down. She was like, no. This is where we pick up the children's spirits. So we talked about earlier. Do we want to try the spirit box?
Yeah. I'll just hold it to my mic and to my ear.
Little girl.
I heard a little girl. Yeah. Sweetheart, are you in the room with us?
I just felt something on my chest.
What did you feel? Did you feel something touching you? Or?
Yeah, like something going.
Like was it like a child?
It was like right on my breast. It was like.
Okay, that's like you got groped. Like that's wrong.
Like that.
Did you feel that before, Lauren? Did you get attacked?
It was in the dining room, but it was on my legs in the dining room when we were here last time.
Like playing footsie with you?
Like grabbing, like you just
grabbing my legs.
So, guys, the whatever here just basically grabs Susan inappropriately.
Yeah, it was right on.
That's not acceptable. Andrew, is that you?
What was that?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. So if we had to surmise what we got tonight, what did you get, Susan?
Well, I think you mostly were the one tapping into all of the energies. You know, I was just here offering support and observance, but
and protection too.
And protection, which we agreed on for weeks ago. You know, I was just trying to like keep certain things at bay. I think it's from the things you were conveying that there is. I also feel there is some sort of predatory sensation in certain areas, and I felt that too, you know. Right. And I feel, and I don't get to put faces or personalities with these beings. I feel like the masculine energy, it's very toxic, which, you know, it could be in the sexual vein, you know. But like I said, I've been kind of omitting a lot of that energy from really coming forth to me.
Well, I mean, the idea of like, have you been like touched like that before, like from a spirit?
Oh, yeah, spirits always love,
okay,
especially like especially like masculine, like male energies. Yeah.
Like what? Like why? Like, do you think that? What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you feel invaded, or what are your? I mean, obviously, it doesn't feel good.
Well, I mean, no female likes to be like. Have gross. Unsolicited groping, especially from men you can't even see or whatever. But I think they feel my energy. I was born on the most sexual day of the year. I'm a Beltane baby.
Right.
You know, like my whole pot is all about like sex magic. You know. So I kind of get it, but
yeah. But still, you don't from as you move forward, Susan. I'm hoping that this is you becoming more sensitive. I mean, you definitely are sensitive, and you know that you're sensitive. But I think that maybe getting in touch more with the spirits, but also getting in touch with the fact that that you're here for a reason, and you're here to heal, and you're here to move to the next level of your development. And it's time. It's time for you to have a healthy relationship. It's time for you to have, not to say you have had bad relationships, but I think like it's time for you to move in a positive direction in the future.
Yeah, I feel that I took that step, you know. I went through trials and tribulations and a lot of, you know, like, I definitely moved out of my shadow era, you know.
Yeah.
My dark night era.
You're moving out of the darkness into the light.
Yeah.
And that means positive relationships. It means girlfriends, like really like girlfriends who really support you and love you.
Yeah.
And have you had issues with like female friends?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
And I think that it's trust. And the thing is, you can trust them. You have to learn to be able to trust your feminine energy. And what you also showed me today too is that you are now able to protect yourself. Mm-hmm. So
that's a new development.
That's very good, Susan.
I know. I was like, yeah. Do you
So I think we're gonna cut now, but you guys have been fantastic, and it's been awesome spending time with Susan, Lauren, and Danny, and Bill and Stacy. And I just want to say, from my perspective, thank you, Bill and Stacy, for all the hard work. I see it firsthand now. And it's amazing to be able to watch this.
Oh yeah, they have been thrown to the wolves tech-wise, and not only that, they're up earlier than me, and they're also up later than me. I don't know how they do it.
All right, guys. Well, have a great night.